Welcome to Shows to Go. We're one of the outreach programs of the Villages Theater Company. We have about 10, 15 different actors that put on comedy shows for social clubs in and around the Villages, Florida. Most of them are monologues, poems, skits, sometimes a little bit of magic too. So tonight we're going to do a little show for you to give you an example of what one of our shows might look like. First of all, I ought to say that we're in the center of the state. We've got lots of people here with lots of activities. Golf seems to be one of them. We have 12 championship golf courses, 42 executive courses. There's a lot of good golfers. There's a lot of bad golfers. I'd like to share with you my thoughts about this game of golf. In my hand, I hold a ball, white, dimpled, rather small. Oh, how bland it does appear, this harmless-looking little sphere. By its size, one would not guess the awesome power it does possess. But since I fell beneath its spell, I've traveled through the fires of hell. My life has not been quite the same since I took up this stupid game. It rules my mind for hours on end. A fortune it has made me spend. It's made me curse and scream and cry. I hate myself, and I want to die. Oh, it promises the thing called par. If you can hit it straight and far. To master such a tiny ball should not be difficult at all. But my desires the ball refuses. It goes exactly where it chooses. It hooks, it slices, it dribbles, it dies, and sometimes disappears before my eyes. Occasionally it'll take a whim to a tree or take a swim. With miles of grass on which to land, it always finds that patch of sand. It has me offering up my soul, if only it would find the hole. It has me whimpering like a pup and threaten to give the game up. But then I take a drink to ease my sorrow, because the ball knows I'll be back tomorrow. Right now, we're dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. There's nothing funny about that. Let's go back now to a time when things weren't quite so complicated. I think you have to go way back in time in order to find that. In fact, let's go back to the beginning. Let's find out what's going on in the Garden of Eden, the first time Adam met Eve.
Lord, look it. When I woke up this morning, what do you mean, who is this? It's Adam. Who else would it be? Anyways, look it. I woke up this morning and I found this Band-Aid on my chest. And I was wondering, operation? What operation?
Must you talk so loud? I'm trying to sleep.
Listen, and another thing. When I woke up, I found this creature in my bed. It's not like nothing I've ever seen before. Yeah, what do you mean it's just like me? It's nothing like me. It's lumpy.
Well, what kind of blind date you turned out to be? We've only just met, and you're already insulting me.
Lord, are you listening to this? Tell me, what is this thing you gave me? A woman. What's a woman?
Well, I hope you're satisfied. I wanted to sleep late this morning, and you woke me up with your loud talking.
Are you going to be hanging around here?
Yes, I'm your wife.
Wife? What's a wife?
You'll find out.
Look at, if you're going to be hanging around here, my name's Adam.
Oh, I'm called Eve.
Okay. How did you get here anyways?
Well, God made me out of one of your short ribs while you were sleeping.
That's the reason for the Band-Aid. That was a dirty joke. I'd rather have my rib back.
Too late now.
Yeah, I guess. What are you going to be doing around here anyways?
God did not want you to be alone.
He ought to mind his own business. I like being alone. Alone is good.
Yeah, but you didn't have anybody to talk to.
Heck, I didn't. I got all these animals. I can talk to them whenever I want to.
Yeah, but they don't talk back.
That's the point. Alone is good. I can do all the talking.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but don't you want to have somebody tell you how wonderful you are?
I already know that.
Oh boy, there it is. The thing the Lord told me about. The male ego.
Okay, tell me more about me. Come on.
All right. Well, I kind of like the way you look. But I don't like the way you smell. Oh, go stand under that waterfall.
Just stand by a minute. I gotta make another phone call. Lord, it's me again. Are you listening to this? I don't know what it's called nagging. Part of her job description. I'm gonna have to get used to it. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Oh, Adam, when you get back from the waterfall, you need to take out the garbage, but leave the fig leaves.
What for?
Oh, I want to make curtains out of them.
We don't have any windows.
Oh, isn't that just like a man? I want to create some beauty around here, and you have to throw logic at me.
What are you doing?
I'm crying, you idiot.
What for?
Well, you hurt my feelings, and you're an insensitive clod, and I hate you.
Just hang on, I gotta make another phone call. Lord, it's me again. I do not know what to do with this thing you gave me over here. She's so touchy. I mean, and now she's all wet, she's crying. Look, guilt trip. I don't know nothing about guilt trips, don't want to know anything. Just tell me what to do. You're kidding. Put my arm around her. All right. Now what? Again, you're kidding. Look at lips are for talking and eating. Okay. Hey, those feelings, you kind of like that, you know what I mean?
Adam.
Yeah.
Why don't we go take a walk in the woods?
Yeah, okay, but what are we going to do in the woods?
You'll find out.
There she goes again.
Oh, we could stop and get a snack along the way.
Like what?
Well, there's that big tree. You know, the one with the nice red apples.
Wait a minute. You're not talking about the tree the Lord said we got to stay away from, huh?
Yeah, that's the one.
Nah, I don't think so. He said it was forbidden.
Oh, I think he was just teasing. I mean, why else would he put it there if he didn't want us to enjoy it like everything else in the garden?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we better,
Oh, come on. What could possibly happen if we ate one little apple?
Well, I guess you're right. What could possibly happen?
You'll find out.
All right, maybe that was a little bit too far back. Let's go back just a couple of years. Shirley Knight would like to share with us a poem and a short story about horseback riding.
Susie Lee done fell in love. She planned to marry Joe. She was so happy about it all, she told her pappy so. Pappy said, Susie gal, you've got to find another. I just as soon your ma don't know, but Joe is your half-brother. So Susie put aside her Joe and planned to marry Will. But when she told her pappy this, he said there's trouble still. You cannot marry Will, my gal, and please don't tell your mother. But Will and Joe and several more I know are your half-brothers. But Mama knew and said, my child, just do what makes you happy. Marry Will or marry Joe, 'cause you ain't no kin to pappy. I had a friend, she's always wanted to go horseback riding. And she said, today's the day I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get on that horse. I said, but you can't. You've never had any lessons. You've never even been on a horse in your life. She said, nope, today's the day. I'm going out and get on there. And she went out, got on that horse, and the horse started going. And she's going along, and she's thinking, oh, this is so nice. Fresh air, sunshine. She's just having the best time. And all of a sudden, she starts slipping in the saddle. She tried to put her arm around the horse's neck, but she couldn't get it around. She slipped a little bit further. She tried to grab the mane, but she couldn't get a hold of anything. Slipped a little bit further. And the horse is oblivious. He's just going on, having a good time. And there she is, falling down, down. And the ground's coming up. And she's thinking, oh no, what am I going to do? The ground's coming up. I'm going to hit my head in the ground. I'm going to die. And just as her head was ready to hit the ground, the Walmart manager came out and turned the horse off.
Most of us have grandkids, and they come to visit us every once in a while, and while they're here, they might share some of their homework, particularly the new math. While Tony O'Teary and Ed Slevkin are going to share with you their take on the new math.
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Hi.
Oh, wow. You know, I saw you got about 7 customers up there. What do you got going here?
I just baked 28 muffins. I'm going to give each customer 13, a baker's dozen.
Well, yeah, a baker's dozen is 13, but you can't give them each, 13. You can only give them 4 each.
No, 28 muffins, 7 customers, 13 each.
No, 7 does not go into 28 13 times. It only goes in 4 times. You can only give them 4 muffins each.
Where did you go to school? Of course 7 goes into 28 13 times. Look, let me show you. We have 7 customers, right?
Yeah.
And we have 28 muffins.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to divide. 7 into 2, you can't do it.
No.
So we hold that aside.
Okay.
7 into 8.
Once.
1. 1 times 7.
7.
Put it down. Subtract 7 from 8.
1.
1. Bring down the 2. 7 into 21.
3.
13.
No. There's something wrong there. Division always has confused me. So could we do multiplication instead? Let's multiply 13 times 7. And you'll see.
You want to multiply?
Yeah, I want to do multiply.
We can multiply.
Yeah. That I'll show you now.
Okay, we want to multiply 7 times 13. 7 times 3?
21.
21. 7 times 1?
7.
7. 7 and 1?
8.
8. Bring down the 2. 28.
No, this is you're tricking me. I forget multiplication, division, all that higher math, the way they teach it in school. Let's go back to simple addition. Just put 13 down there 7 times. We'll add it up, and I'll show you I'm right.
Okay. 13 times. No, 7
Yep.
times. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go ahead.
Here, I'll even start.
Add it up.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21.
22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.
My God, you're right.
A few minutes ago, we heard about horseback riding. Right now, we're going to move that up to the automobile age at least, where we see a couple that are on a trip in the state of Florida and stop for gasoline. Oh, howdy, folks.
Howdy, young fella.
What'll it be?
Fill her up.
Got it.
What'd he say?
He wanted to know what we wanted, and I told him to fill it up.
Where are you folks headed?
Headed to Orlando.
Oh,
What'd he say?
He wanted to know where we were going, and I told him Orlando.
you got a beautiful day for the drive.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
What'd he say?
He said it's a beautiful day for a drive, and I agreed with him.
Say, where are you folks from?
Oh, we're from the villages.
What did he say?
He wanted to know where we're from, and I told him the Villages.
You know, I think I used to date a girl from the Villages. Whoa, she was lousy in bed, and she would never shut up.
What did he say?
He says he knows you.
As I mentioned before, we're a retirement community, and a lot of us here lose a spouse from time to time or decide to divorce. Anyway, we oftentimes get remarried. Well, sometimes it doesn't work out exactly as planned. And so we're going to look in on a couple that are planning to get married. Maybe, maybe not. It might be tie the knot or prepare a noose.
Oh.
Lori!
I'm not ready.
Lori!
5 more minutes.
You said that 5 minutes ago.
Well, 5 more minutes.
You said that 10 minutes ago.
5 more minutes.
You said that 15 minutes ago.
Well, good. When you call back the next time, at least you'll know the answer.
Lori, you're keeping our wedding guests waiting.
Well, I broke a nail. We'll have to call off the wedding.
Are you having some pre-wedding jitters?
Oh, I hate you.
Lori, please, what is the problem?
Well, the problem is I'm just not ready.
Lori, the ice swan is quickly turning into a duckling. It's time to get married.
Well, I have to think about this.
Lori, I've told the organist to play Here Comes the Bride in 5 minutes.
Good. I hope you and the organist will be happy together.
Lori, please, what is the problem?
The problem is I love you.
I love you too.
Well, I refuse to marry anyone who has such rotten taste in women.
What's going on here?
Andrew, have you seen my family out there?
Yeah, so?
Well, who's here?
Well, just about everybody.
List them.
Well, let's see. I saw your mom and your stepdad, and over there was your father and his wife, and your sister and her husband.
Second husband.
And your older brother and his wife.
Third wife.
Your younger brother and his fiancée, who will become his wife.
And what number fiancé is that?
4th, I think.
Was she any nicer than the first 3 fiancés?
Well, I've never done a comparison.
Andrew, don't you see a pattern here?
Lori, that's them, not us.
Oh, Andrew, I love you and I think you're magnificent and sweet and I don't want to divorce you.
I don't want to divorce you either.
Well, the only way to avoid that is to not get married.
Lori, we will not get divorced.
Well, how can you be so sure?
Well, we've been together for 2 years now. We planned this beautiful wedding together and I love you more and more every day.
You're just nuts, you know that?
And I gotta admit, you really turned me on.
Oh, sure. Now it's again and again. A year from now it'll be you again.
I don't think so.
Andrew, grow up. No matter how much in love we are now, we're going to get a divorce and we're going to fight over the silverware and the toaster.
We don't have any silverware and you can have the toaster.
Well, then what do you take?
I'll take the microwave.
Well, the microwave is worth more than the toaster.
Fine, you can have the microwave too.
Well, then what do you want?
I'll take the home entertainment system.
Just like a man. I paid for half of that, you know.
Okay. I'll take the TV, and you can have the DVR.
What good is a TV without the DVR?
Okay, you can have the TV, and I'll take the DVR.
Well, there's nothing on TV. So that's why we got the DVR.
Okay, well, what do you want?
I want the TV and the DVR. You can take the microwave.
If you're going to have the TV and the DVR, I get the stereo.
Well, that's not right. I listen to the stereo more than you do.
Well, then give up the TV and the DVR.
Never. You can take the microwave and the couch.
I hate the couch.
Well, good. Then I want you to have it.
I want the easy chair.
You already got the couch.
You can have the couch.
Well, I hate the couch more than you do.
Well, then sit on the floor.
Well, then I get the rug.
I get the dinette set.
I get the bedroom set.
I get the bed.
I get the house.
We don't own a house.
Well, as soon as we get married, we're buying a house and I get it.
Then I get the Porsche.
What Porsche?
The Porsche I'm buying with the money from the second mortgage I'm taking out on the house.
Oh, how dare you!
Try and stop me!
Marrying you would be the biggest mistake of my life.
You don't have to worry about that if this is the way you're going to handle our divorce.
Remember when we used to dance together?
Yes. It was wonderful.
I still think we're making the biggest mistake of our lives.
You're probably right.
But isn't it great that we're making it together?
It sure is.
I love you.
I love you.
I'm not too sure how that marriage is going to work, but let's change the subject entirely. Walter Martin is going to talk to you about a subject that is pretty bland, actually. Potatoes. Walter? Potatoes?
Potatoes. A girl potato and a boy potato had eyes for each other. And finally they got married and had a sweet potato that they named Yam. Now they wanted the best for Yam, so what they did, when the time came, they explained the facts of life to her. They warned her about going out getting half-baked so as to cause her to be mashed and end up with a bad name for herself like a hot potato and end up with a lot of little tater tots. Well, Yam said, don't worry, I'm not going to let any spud get me in the sack and make me into a rotten potato. Okay, so they wanted the best for Yam, and Yam said, I don't intend to be a couch potato, but I'm going to exercise and I'll get plenty of food so as not to be skinny like my shoestring cousins. Well, one summer, little Yam went over to Europe to study, and Mr. and Mrs. Potato warned her about those Irish guys, hard-boiled Irish guys from Ireland, and those guys from France called the French fries. Well, Yam said, don't worry, I'll take the high road and I'll be very fine. I'm not going to associate with those high-class Yukon Golds, and I'm not going to associate with those from the other side of the track that advertise their trade on all of those trucks that said Frito-Lay. They enrolled little Yam at Idaho State PU. That's Potato University. And they figured when she graduated, oh, she would be in the chips. But in spite of everything that they did for little Yam, one day she came home and announced she was getting married and she was going to marry Tom Brokaw. Tom Brokaw? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Potato said, no way, there's no way you can marry Tom Brokaw. And little Yam said, well, why? Well, here's the reason why. Are you ready for this? Really? Well, you couldn't marry Tom Brokaw because he was just a commentator.
Walter, you forgot one more use of potatoes, vodka. They make vodka from potatoes. Okay, one more time. Most of us are married. They've been asked by their wife from time to stop and pick up something from the store while they're running their own errand. Well, Tony's been asked to pick up something by his wife. Let's see how he makes out.
Now, I ain't so much for shopping, nor even going into town. Except for horse trading day, you won't see me around. But the day come when I had to go, so I left the kids with Ma. Before I left, she said, would you pick me up a bar? I I said, why, sure, how tough can that job be? I leaned over and kissed her, said I'd be back by 3. When I'd done the things I needed, I started to regret ever agreeing to buy that thing. I was working up a sweat. So I crossed the street to the ladies' shop with my hat pulled over my eyes. I didn't want to take a chance on being recognized. I walked right up to that sales girl and I didn't hem or haw. Looked her straight in the eye and said, "Ma'am, I'm here to buy a bra." From behind me, I heard some snickering. I turned around to see there's about 5 or 6 women all gawking at me. "What kind would you be looking for?" Well, I scratched my head. I'd only seen one kind before. Thought bras was bras, I said. She took me down the aisle where bras were on display. Thought my jaw would hit the floor seeing all that lingerie. They had bras you wear for 18 hours, and bras that cross your heart. Bras that lift and separate, and that was just a start. They had bras made you feel like you weren't wearing one at all, and bras that you can train in when you're young, kind of small. When she asked me for the size, I didn't hesitate. I knew that size by heart. It was 6 7/8. Those women behind me, they was all cracking up when I handed the girl my hat so she could measure for the cup. Well, I finally picked one out, gave the gal her pay, headed for the door, smiled and said, "Good day." My wife had heard the whole story before I ever made it home. Those 15 or so women, they called her on the phone. She was still laughing out loud. But hell, I didn't care, because now she don't ask, and I don't buy no more women's underwear.
Turn your TV on now and you'll see lots of crime dramas on TV. CSI, NCIS, The Rookie, Law and Order. Well, we're going to look in on a scene that's happening now in this executive building right here, way up in the top, where the detective is interviewing one of the people involved.
Thank you for your coat, officer. It was getting kind of drafty up here.
That's quite all right, miss. Now, can you tell me exactly what happened here?
Well, my boss, Mr. Gilmore, just jumped out of the window and it's 20 stories down.
And you are?
I'm Miss Jones. I'm his private secretary. I take notes. I type. I lick stamps.
Was there anything particularly odd about his behavior today?
Well, he's always been a bit peculiar. About a week ago, no, I'd only been working for him for a week, and he called me into his office and he said, "Miss Jones, you're the most beautiful creature I've ever seen. If I pay you $100, will you stand before me in your slip? I promise no monkey business." Well, officer, $100 to a working girl is a lot of money.
It sure is.
So I took the money and I stood before him in my slip.
Was he true to his word?
Yes, there was no monkey business.
And that satisfied him?
Well, until about 2 weeks ago. And then he called me into his office again. And he said, "Miss Jones, I can't stop thinking about you. If I pay you $200, will you stand before me in your bra and panties? I promise no monkey business." Well, officer, $200 to a working girl is a lot of money.
It sure is.
So I took the money and I stood before him in my bra and panties.
Was he true to his word?
Yes, there was no monkey business.
And that satisfied him?
Well, until about 10 minutes ago. And then he burst into my office and he said, Miss Jones, I'm spending sleepless nights thinking about you. If I pay you $500, would you stand before me in the nude? I promise no monkey business. Well, officer, $500 to a working girl is a lot of money.
It sure is.
So, I removed my clothes, and I stood before him in the nude, and he said, Miss Jones, I can't stand it anymore. How much is the monkey business?
And what did you say?
I said, well, my regular price is $10. And he jumped out the window.
Well, there's no monkey business in that group there, and certainly no monkey business with our next act, which is Ron Shoemate, who's going to do a magic trick for us today. Ron, take it away.
This is no talk. Little sleight of hand, misdirection, sometimes called magic. Sit back and enjoy. Thank you.
I don't know how he does it either. Have you ever had a telephone call where you really get some bad news? I mean, really, really bad news. Well, let's drop in on a conversation that really would be on the top of our bad news list.
Hello? Signor Roy? It is Ernesto, your caretaker at the country home.
Oh, yes, Ernesto. How you doing? Is there a problem?
Well, Signor Roy, yes, I'm afraid so. I have to advise you that your pet parrot has died.
What? Polly is dead? He just won the international competition.
Yes, Signor Roy, that's the one.
Damn pity. I just spent a lot of money on that bird. What did he die from?
Well, Signor Roy, he died from eating rotten meat.
Rotten meat? Who in the hell fed him rotten meat?
Nobody, sir. He ate the meat from a dead horse.
Dead horse? What dead horse?
The thoroughbred, Signor Roy.
You telling me my prized thoroughbred Black Beauty is dead?
Signor Roy, yes. I'm very sorry. He died from pulling the water cart so much.
What the hell? What water cart?
The water cart that was used to put out the fire.
Good Lord, what fire are you talking about?
The fire in your home. You see, Signor Roy, the candle fell over and started the fire when it burned the curtains.
What the hell is going on there? Are you telling me my mansion is destroyed by a candle?
Yes, I'm sorry, Signor Roy.
But the house has electricity. What was the candle for?
The funeral, Signor Roy.
What bloody funeral?
the funeral for your wife. You see, it's all a big mistake. It was very late at night, and I thought she was a burglar. So I hit her over the head with your new titanium driver, the tailor-made Sim 2.
Ernesto, if you broke that driver, you're in deep shit.
If you live in Florida, you get visitors from time to time. Wintertime, particularly, people come down, they expect you to wine and dine them. Well, Raleigh Williams has just about had it up to here with that, so he's prepared a set of rules, house rules, if you will. Raleigh, tell us what they are.
Hi, kids. Come on in and sit down. Welcome to Phyllis and Raleigh's B&B. Come on in, sit down, take a load off, have some lunch, and then afterwards, Phyllis will go out and bring the bags in with the cart. Not. All right. We are not going to have a repeat of what's happened the last couple of years with 12 people in this house. We now have house rules. Our house, our rules. If you don't like it, just tootle your way on down to Universal or Disney or wherever you want to go. Rule number 1, pick up after yourself after you're finished with something. Cups, glasses, beer cans, towels, pillows, wet swimsuits, whatever. When you're done, pick it up. Rule number 2, the laundry is off limits. I'm confounded. You come in today from wherever, and tomorrow you've got 3 loads of wash to do. What did you do? Bring your dirty laundry with you? Rule number 3, eat what is prepared for you. Phyllis has been working on menus and food preparation for 3 weeks. And then yesterday you tell her that you're keeping kosher. You're a Baptist, for heaven's sakes. And now you're gluten-free, you've become a vegetarian, or you have food allergies, can't eat peanuts, white bread, rye bread, eggs, whatever, and don't eat anything that swims, flies, or walks, or any combination thereof. Remember, if it's got 4 legs and it's not a table, eat it. Rule number 4, you 2 girls with the long hair and 20-minute showers, you go last. We have a 50-gallon water tank, and you guys use it all up, so you're last. Now, you guys aren't going to escape. Guys, and the bathroom. Okay, our bathroom is not a stadium or arena bathroom. It's not a trough. You have to lift the lid and lift the seat. Look, the seat is not a target. You don't bounce it off the rim to score. Can you say swish? Further, just remember, don't dribble either before or after you shoot. Finally, when you're finished, put the lid down, put the seat down. Yeah, I know it screws up the dog when he tries to drink out of the toilet. But come on, you think it's so cute when the dog then licks the little kids' faces? Folks, do you know where that dog's tongue has been? Well, I think that went very well. I hope it goes as well when they get here.
As we get older and we're up north, we decide to retire and move south. Well, they usually try to find an area, usually Florida, where the temperature never gets below their age. A retirement community, perhaps, with lots of things to do. And they get settled, and then as time goes on, they get older and they decide to downsize. and they may go into assisted living or into a nursing home. Well, if you go to one of those places, you have to be interviewed first to see if you have the proper qualifications. Let's look in and see how a discussion of that sort might occur.
Oh, Doctor, thank you for showing me around the nursing home. I really appreciate it. I do have one question, though. How do you determine when an older person should be admitted to the home?
Well, first we fill a bathtub full of water. Then we offer a teaspoon, a teacup, and a bucket to the individual and ask them to empty the tub.
Oh, I understand. A normal person would choose the bucket because it's bigger than the spoon or the cup.
No. A normal person would simply pull the plug. Now, would you like a room by the window or by the bathroom?
No, thank you.
Another discussion that happens as we are living here in the villages is unfortunately dying. I mean, it's going to happen to all of us. And so, what about the afterlife? Well, fortunately, we have our resident religious scholar, the Father Guido Rondino, and he's here today, to talk to us about the afterlife.
How you doing? It's me, Father Guido Rondino. Look, they asked me to come here today to talk to you about the afterlife. In other words, what happens when you die. Yeah, okay. But for a lot of centuries, a lot of people had different ideas about what happens when you die. For example, Sister Veronica. Now, Sister Veronica, you know Sister Veronica. She's a little nun about this big. She got the brown eyes, the perky lips, the long fingers. Yes, Sister Veronica. Excuse me, I digress. Anyways, Sister Veronica believed that when you die, that you immediately go to purgatory and stay there and suffer till God figures you suffered enough, then he bring you to heaven. That's what she believed. You believe that? Nah, I don't believe that. I personally believed that when you die, your soul would pop out of your body and float up to heaven like a little bubble in a 7-Up bottle, you know, tika. And you go up as high as you were good. If you were a good guy, you go right up to heaven. If you're not such a good guy, you go, I don't know, maybe 4 feet. Right there, 4 feet. And you hang there at 4 feet. Maybe at the local bar with all the hoochie mamas. And that's forever. You'd hang there forever. Now, a lot of priests, they say forever and ever. Me, I think forever pretty well says it. Forever. But now we know this is not true. Little history lesson. And in 1917, the Virgin Mary appeared to 3 Portuguese kids, gave them a letter, told them to take the letter to the Pope, telling the Pope not to open the letter till 1960. Yeah, and that's a true story. You can Google the Fatima letter. Anyways, 1960 rolled around, and the Pope, he opened up the letter. And there was 3 or 4 things in there, something about Russia, something about World War II, you know. But there was a 4th thing in the letter that had to do with what happens when you die. And the Pope, he didn't tell us about it. Why? What do I know? He's the Pope, right? Anyways, we got a new Pope. Pope Francis. Papa Francesca. Anyways, nice guy. Anyways, he was here in the States about 3 or 4 years ago, remember? Yeah. When he was in the States, he called me up and he said, hey, G. He calls me G, you know. He said, G, come on up to Philly. We'll have some beer and wings, shoot the breeze. I said, yeah, okay. I don't have nothing else to do. So I jumped in the plane, flew up to Philly. We're sitting around, getting a buzz on, you know, sucking some suds. And Frankie looks over to me and he says, G, do you want to know what the 4th thing in the Fatima letter was? And I said, Yeah, I'd love to know what it was. He said, the fourth thing in the Fatima letter was vita est laburnum. Vita est laburnum. Life is a job. You know, and when you think about it, it's true. You get up in the morning, you got to wash your face, you got to comb your hair, you got to make the bed, you got to cook breakfast, you got to clean the house. It's work, it's a job. And because of that, God, He's going to pay you. That's right, He's going to pay you. Now, me, I thought He was going to maybe pay, minimum wage, but no. God's going to pay you $13.50 for every day you've been alive. So this is what happens when you die. You go down this long corridor. And as you go down this long corridor, everything you did in your life flashes in front of you. And when you get to the end of the corridor, there's God waiting for you. He knows you're coming. I mean, this guy's sharp. He knows everything. He's like a psychic, you know what I mean? Anyways, He looks you straight in the eye and He pays you $13.50 times the number of days you've been alive, one lump sum. Boom. Yeah. And now He reaches over, gets the book of sin, and looks you up. And now you got to pay for your sins. I mean, you've heard that expression before, pay for your sins. It's true. And you got to pay in cash, because God does not take checks or money orders. Yeah, that's right. Remember when you were a kid, you stole that little candy bar? That cost $10 for that sin. That's right. And all those little white lies, $10 a piece for those. The worst sin, murder, $250,000. That's right. Adultery, $200,000. Fornication, $150,000. That's right. Masturbation, I don't know, maybe 25, 35 cents. Hey, it's a cheap sin. You know what I mean? But it can add up, 35, 35, 35, 35. One day, you know what I mean? 35, 35, 35. I mean, it can add up. Now, then what Lord does is He looks at all your sins, He adds them up, and deducts it from your pay. And if you got enough money, He opens up the gate, and into heaven you go. If you got extra money, you can upgrade. The base in heaven kit is like a linen robe with some wings and a halo. You might be able to get a satin robe, maybe some wax for the wings, something for the halo to shine it up, and all that. But if you don't have enough money to pay off your debt, you got to be reborn. That's right. You got to come back to earn enough money to pay off your debt. You would not believe the number of mafia hitmen that had been reborn 2 and 3 times to pay off their debt. And they were reborn as nuns. That's right, nuns are ex-mafiosa. And if you ever went to Catholic school, you'd understand that. Yeah, okay. Now, God being a nice guy, He makes available bonus money. If you do something good, He'll give you extra money for it. Here where I live in the villages, you can make extra money by helping a little old lady across the street. Here in the villages, you can make a lot of money helping little old ladies across the street. Yeah, well, look at it. I got to go. I got in a dinner appointment with Sister Veronica. You know Sister Veronica. She's a little nun about this big. She's got the big brown eyes. And she got the perky lips. She got the longer fingers. Yeah, Sister Veronica. Yeah. Hey, Eldino Benedetti, Buona Fortuna, and ciao.
Well, I hope that clarifies everything on the religious end of things. But not everybody here in the villages are at that end of their spectrum of life. A lot of people live in the community just outside of the villages, Leesburg or Wildwood, Lady Lake, and they're still trying to have a family. Most of us, our family lives up north, but some people are trying to start a family. Let's look in on a couple that are having trouble, so they're calling in some extra help.
Oh, Jane, I'm so nervous. Well, Harry and I decided to go with the surrogate father option, right? Well, Yeah, well, we've been trying for so many years to conceive without success, and we really want to have a child. Oh, I know, yeah. Well, Harry's gone to the office, and I'm expecting the proxy father any minute now. Wish me luck. Thanks.
I've had a lot of success selling baby portraits door to door. Let's hope today is another lucky day. Oh, good morning, madam. I've come to talk to you about certain things that might be of interest in the week.
Oh, there's no need to explain. I've been expecting you.
Really? Oh, my specialty is babies.
Oh, that's what my husband and I had hoped. Won't you
May I
come in?
Oh, thank you. Now, leave everything up to me. I usually like 2 in the bathtub, 1 in the bedroom, another one on the couch, and sometimes the living room floor is fun. You can really spread out.
Bathtub. Living room floor. No wonder it didn't work for Harry and me.
No one can guarantee a good one every time, but if I try different positions and I shoot from 6 or 7 different angles, I think you'll be pleased with the results.
Oh, my, that's a lot of them.
Madam, in my line of work, a man must take his time. I'd love to be in and out in 5 minutes, but you'd be disappointed in that, I'm sure.
Don't I know it?
Oh, just a moment. Oh, thank you. Oh, this was done on top of a bus.
Oh, my God.
Yes. Oh, I think those twins came out exceptionally good. Yes.
Was their mother difficult?
Oh, she was extremely difficult. I had to take her to the park in order to get the job done right. People were climbing around 4 and 5 deep, pushing and shoving to get a good view.
4 and 5 deep?
Yes, and for over 3 hours, too. The mother kept screaming and squealing. I could hardly concentrate. And then when darkness set in, I had to rush my shots. Finally, when the squirrels started nibbling at my equipment, I just packed it in.
You mean they actually chewed on your equipment?
Yes. Well, if you're all set, I'll go out to the car and get my tripod and we'll get right to
tripod?
Well, yes, I need my tripod to rest my camera on. It's much too big for my dog's just fainted. Well, that's our show for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a chuckle or two. If you enjoyed it and you want to see us live and at your social club, give us a call. Check our website or call me. You might be able to see it on the screen afterwards, how you can get in touch with me for shows to go or the Village Theater Company. Come see our productions. Call us. We'd love to entertain you. Bye-bye.